Hey, how's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So, I hope you had a good Christmas and it was full of lots of cheer and fun. But today we're going to talk about something bad and sad. So, these comics, I do this series about once a week now. I show 5 comics that have been dropping in price. Some of these dropping by 30, 40, even 88% drop from where the previous high was. So, let's take a look, jump right into it. All right, first up we got is Sandman #1. Now this is a Vertigo Sandman #1. As you know, there's a Netflix, I believe it's Netflix TV show coming out. And so that really spiked this book, but it's kind of cooled off since then after the trailer came out. Maybe there's not a lot of buzz or hype. I don't know, I'm still interested in the show, so I'll watch it. But let's look at Sandman #1. A 9.8 peaked in August for $1,800. It currently sits at $1,200. That is a 33% drop. A 9.6 in October, so not too long ago, sold for $650, but now it currently sells for $425. That's a 35% drop. And a 9.4 back in October, so again, not too long ago, peaked at $499, now sells for $375. That is a 25% drop. I don't think that this drop will continue too much longer. As you can see, it's compared to the other ones I've done, there were massive drops. This is around a 33% drop so far. If the show is good, I think this will spike it a little more and maybe continue on. And who knows, this, if it's a good show, it could go on, season 2, 3, 4, 5, who knows, forever, right? So my guess is it will still kind of maybe drop a little more, but it should kind of level out. It just really depends on that show and how it appeals to the fans and the general audience. All right, so #2, we got Silver Surfer #3. This is the first appearance of Mephisto. A 5.5 peaked back in April for $1,025. Now sells for $660. That was a 36% drop. A 7.0 peaked back in February for $1,582. Now it sells for $990. That was a 37% drop. And then an 8.0 peaked in January for $2,350, now sells for $1,560. That is a 34% drop. And if you can see up there at the graph, you can see this massive spike, and then it's kind of dropped a little bit, and then it's dropping a lot more recently. Now, I've talked about before, there's the comic boom that happened usually around spring, early summer. But this one got a huge jump because there were so many rumors about Mephisto being in WandaVision, which I believe was around February or March of last year. I can't remember exact dates. And that's what spiked this book. Turns out the rumors were false. That's why I always say, rumors are rumors. You need concrete evidence. So that's why this book has continued to drop. I still think it's a cool cover, and Mephisto is pretty big in the Marvel universe. But I just don't see him playing a role anytime soon. He could show up in Doctor Strange 2, maybe. Don't take that with take it with a massive grain of salt, right? That's just like a possibility if he was going to show up in something. But see, rumors like this can massively spike a book. I still think it'll drop a little bit more, but if you're looking for a good Silver Surfer, old Silver Surfer with first appearance of Mephisto and a great cover, this is probably a good time to pick up the book pretty soon. Not right now, wait a little more. All right, let's jump into #3. We got Spawn 119. This is the first cameo appearance of the Gunslinger, and he appears in just a random panel. I remember looking at it, and there's it's a whole bunch of random spawns from different universes all over the place, and he's just kind of there. He doesn't appear again, I believe, until it's 174 and 175 is when his full appearance is, so it's quite a while until then. But let's look at it. A 9.2 back in October sold for $250. Now currently sells for $196. That's a 22% drop. A 9.6 back in June sold for $475. Now currently sits at $330. That is a 31% drop. And then a 9.8 taking the biggest hit, used to sell back in April for $1,025. Now sells for $511. These are real sales. That is a 50% drop. You can look at the graph up there. It's pretty much nothing. Shot way up and it's coming right back down. Now, the reason for this is there was a lot of hype for the Gunslinger because, of course, Todd McFarlane always saying he's making these movies, and which they never happen. He's always working on them and they never come out. He's been working on Spawn, the new movie, since since the beginning of time. I think day one, God created the earth, and day two, Todd McFarlane wrote the Spawn script. But anyways, so he says he's going to come out with this Gunslinger, like a Spawn universe with a Gunslinger movie. He came out with the Gunslinger solo comic book, which I think they're on issue 2 now, so not too far along. But that spiked this book really high, got really hot, and then, of course, finally everyone caught on that if it ever does get made, it'll be like 20 years, and it'll be like Todd McFarlane's great-grandson that will actually be making the movie. So, I don't know. If you're going to get a book for a Gunslinger, go for 174, 175. 119 is just the cheaper version. This book will continue to drop. If you're going to get it, wait a bit. All right. Next we got Marvel Spotlight 28. This actually, I didn't know this, but this is actually the third appearance of Moon Knight. His first appearance is obviously Werewolf by Night 32 and 33. But then his next appearance in Werewolf by Night is 37, but this actually shows up, is published before Werewolf by Night 37. So technically his third appearance. Anyways, an 8.5 back in July peaked at $675, now sells for $406. That is a 40% drop. A 9.0 peaked for $625 in November, so not too long ago, for $625, and now currently sells for $445. That is a 29% drop. A 9.4 back in October was its peak for $1,500. Now currently sits at $720. That is a 50% drop. If you look at the graph up there, it's just kind of up, and then just bam, down. A lot of peaks, a lot of valleys. So with this one, obviously the show's coming out with Oscar Isaac, and it could be good. I'm hoping it's good. I'm going to watch it, obviously. I wouldn't sit and wait too long for this book because I don't think it's going to go down too much more, because I think Moon Knight is going to be a pretty big character. Now, obviously, this is like his third appearance, so this book is going to get hit pretty hard, just because it's way down on the list of Moon Knight keys. So I've been watching Moon Knight or Werewolf by Night 32, and it took a big hit, but it's slowly coming back. So that one's going to slowly be coming back, and then eventually it'll work down to Werewolf by Night 33, and obviously Marvel Spotlight 28, and that will slowly come back. So all these books are slowly going to come back. I think it's almost a pretty good time to pick up a copy if you want to, get one. I think don't wait too much longer. I think it's almost reached its low point for the next while. Unless the TV show is terrible, then it'll drop some more. All right, last one on the list, but before I do, if you haven't subscribed already, please think about subscribing. Hit that like button down below if you like this kind of content, and let's drop into the last one. The last one on the list, this took a massive hit, 88% drop, massive drop. Anyways, we got Star Wars Legacy #1, and a 9.8 back in March, $800. Now sells for $399, that is a 50% drop. Massive drop. A 9.6 in January for $380, now sells for $179. That's a 53% drop. And here's the biggest drop of all. I have never seen a drop this big. And these are actual sales, like real sales, not what people want for them or think they can get. This is actual what they've sold for. A 9.4 in January sold for $300, which seems to be on par with the rest. But then a 9.4 sold recently for $36. That is an 88% drop. I've never seen a drop that big. Now, obviously, that's going to be a massive outlier. Look, $36 is an odd number, so you know it is thrown in auction, and maybe it's a one-day auction, and no one saw it, and someone just bid on it. I think other 9.4s a little bit prior to this have been selling for, like $100, $120, stuff like that. So around a 50% drop is like the other ones. This one just slipped through the cracks. Like, you never know what's going to slip through the cracks online. And so, yeah, massive drop. This one, it's all Star Wars books have been getting hit a ton recently. I don't know. I think there's just so much out there, and there's kind of a lack of direction, what's going on with the Star Wars universe in terms of movies and things like that. So a bunch of things. Mandalorian and Boba Fett still doing great. In fact, Boba Fett just came out, or is coming out this week, the TV show, and Star Wars 42. I had a couple of them, just been flying off the shelf. So just certain ones. And at the end, I always like to do an update from one of the previous weeks I do this. So kind of check in and see how this book's been doing. This update, I told everyone, no, don't go near it, and it continues to drop. So I did this book, I think about a month ago. Let's do the update. We got Eternals #1. This is an update. So a 9.4 on average in November. Remember, these are average prices now, not peaks, average. 9.4 sits in an average in November for $275. Now the current average is $236 for December. That is down 14%. A 9.6 average in November was $391. Now the average actually went up on this one, $394. It's up 1%. But a 9.8 average back in November was $1785. The current average now for December is $1518. That is down 15%. If you look at the graph way at the top, you can see just a massive drop. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, the 9.6 went up 1%, so maybe it's going to start leveling out. I think that was just kind of an anomaly, to be honest. Like, if you look at the other ones, down 15%, 14%, and I've been looking around at all of them, and they're still dropping. I thought it would drop by another 10%. I was wrong. It was 15%. That's a big drop for 1 month, right? You know, if you look at the 9.8, you're losing about $250. And these are average prices. So, again, the movie wasn't what Disney hoped it would be. It didn't resonate with the fans. If it was amazing and brought in a bunch of new people, think about this. If the Eternals movie was really good and people watched it, they would go and buy Eternals #1. That would boost up the price a bit. It's not happening. So it didn't resonate with people, at least new customers of Eternals #1, the comic book. So that's that. I think it will continue to drop. So I do not recommend picking up a copy right now. I will let you know when I feel like it's getting better, but as of right now, I would still expect another 10% drop next month. So, all right, that's it. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Sorry to bum you out with this video, this negative video, but I got to tell you how it is. So have a good rest of the weekend and a good Christmas break if you're on Christmas break. All right, bye.